God is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, no thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Amen, amen, amen. He rules the world and the wonders of his love. Beautiful, beautiful song right there. It's called Joy to the World. It is time of the year that we have joy in the world as we celebrate Christmas and Happy New Year. And whether you believe or not that Jesus was born at this time, I think it is a time that we can be happy and be joyful, just remembering what he did for you and for me. My name's Grace Ngere. I am welcoming here on my live, my Facebook live, MyStory show that we present every Friday in English version. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can see you coming and coming and coming, and I can see you inviting and inviting and inviting and sharing and sharing and sharing, because that is what we do. Sharing is caring, and we get information, we get enlightened, we get healed, we get hope. That is why we come here every Friday. On Wednesday too, we come with the Kikuyu language. And I appreciate you, each and every one of you, for your great support and encouragement. And I know we got a lot of you guys here who get encouraged each and every day that we are here and we talk about suicide awareness and prevention. We get hope from our stories. We get healing from encouragement and the information that we learn each and every day. So I am welcoming you here today as we continue to wait for everyone to come in on board, and so we can continue with this journey today, because today is a beautiful day, Friday, December what? 4, 5? Lost 6. It is actually 6. Oh my goodness, the year is almost ending. It's time to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. How about that? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. What are you going to do this year? I am hoping you have so many resolutions, and I hope you have fulfilled a lot of your resolutions from last year. Now, as we continue, I'm so happy to see you today. Miss who? Kairetu Kamushemi, Nazcom, Meshak Ondari, Anthony, journalist, Larry Hillary, always the first one to come in. I always appreciate. Thank you so much. And Dedan, Mr. Dedan Diage is our psychologist, and he'll be here soon. We're trying to get him on board. We were with him last weekend or last Friday. He's our psychologist. He talked to us in depth about grieving children, and today he's gonna talk to us about grieving adults, especially in relation to suicide. And so please do not miss this topic. Sad topic, difficult topic. It's not every day that we get to talk about such things, and it's just a way of encouraging each other and letting you know, you who have lost somebody who is loved to you, a beloved one, that it is difficult. I will not come here and tell you it is easy or it's gonna that you'll ever forget. No, I don't think so. But every day gets a little bit better. There's some dissolution, if I can call it that way. There's a little bit of some consolation as days goes by, but you'll never forget and even try to relive his or her moments that you guys had. But we cannot forget the fact that you cannot forget. We're not gonna take that for granted even as we speak, and we look at how we can help ourselves, or you who has gone through this loss, how you can help yourself to overcome it and go through the grieving process. And so we're trying to get Mr. Our psychologist Dedan on board. And so let's continue listening to these Christmas songs. Christmas time is a time of joy. Despite what we do, Christmas is a time of joy. And so if we don't, we might not be happy. We might be grieving. We might be going through whatever we're going through. We might be even at the time when our lives, we feel like we're done, and we just want to die. These Christmas songs are very encouraging. To me, in general, I just love music, right? I just love music. And so Christmas time, I just listen to these songs, and they're so amazing. They're so calming. They're so inspiring. And so just, go to YouTube, get a CD or something on your radio, or even just a radio station, and listen to these music. And I will tell you, you'll be blessed. Whatever you're going through, music is therapeutic. Dedan is saying he's having technical difficulties. I don't know what we'll do. We will really, really need you here. But, if it's not working, I don't know what we're going to do. But we'll try what we can. We will try what we can. And as we try, I will ask you, if you're going through a hard time at this moment, if you're going through a time that you feel it is time for you not to be in this world anymore, there's somebody who can listen to you somewhere. Dial the number 1-800-273 or talk, or 1-800-273-8255, or you can even text 741-741. If you are in the United States. I will post an international website where you can be able to get help. If you are at that time that you feel you really need to talk to somebody, that you really don't even feel like talking to somebody, and you just want to not be in this world anymore, you are not alone. You are not alone. Hit me up on my inbox if you would like, and I'll be here for you. Let me guys know how the sound is. As I've been telling you guys, we've been using this new program. I'm liking it. My Facebook has been, I don't know what's going on. I cannot post to groups. So if you're able to post to groups, please do. I know a lot of us are missing us because I have to be on so many groups to be able to post through this program. So if you can do that, that would be great. That would be great. So welcome, and continue to share, tag, and invite, and share to your group so that I will try one more time to get Psychologist Dedan on board, and if not, we'll just talk about grieving adults in relation to suicide loss, and we will call it a day. So let's listen to, which song is this one? This song is called Silent Night. It is another holiday song, Silent Night.
so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord at thy birth. Jesus, Lord at thy birth.
Okay, we're still trying to reach Dedan, so let's continue. Let's listen to another one here. It's called Jingle Bells.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtailin', making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one.
All right, we're able to get you. Hello, Dedan.
Hi, how are you?
Good, I'm very fine. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you're able to come in.
Yeah, I'm able to come in.
Oh, the earphones won't.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay, I hope it's not gonna be noisy. So let us know if you're listening.
How is that one?
Say again. Hello.
There'll be lots
There'll
of
be lots of
Yeah, let's listen to from our viewers here. I'm gonna look at the comments. Please, guys, can you comment and tell us how the voice is, how the sound is, how the pictures is, because of this new program. And in short, can you introduce yourself, Mr. Dedan Ondiege, and tell us a little bit about you for those who did not meet you last week?
Ondiege. I can't sing psychology.
Okay. All right. All right. I will be talking to you as I look out for the comments about the sound. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's we through.
Okay. They're saying it has echo. The sound has echo. And so most likely it's because of the earphones.
Yes. What do you advise? We can cannot discuss.
Say again.
Should we have them and you talk to them? They show when I get.
Okay. Yeah, because it has echo, and I know we wouldn't be able to hear anything.
Okay.
Okay, then you can stay online and just comment on the line, and I'll read your comments, okay?
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, guys. That's it. We won't be able to get Mr. Dedan because technical difficulties. But it's okay. This is live, so usually those things come and they go, and we continue, right? But he's gonna be online, and if you have any question for him, please comment, and he's gonna answer you. He is a professional counselor. If you have any question, type your question, and he will be able to answer your question. Okay, and I will talk about grief awareness today, or grief awareness for the adults, specifically from suicide, somebody who has lost their loved one. If you have been through this ordeal, please feel free to comment. Tell us how did you overcome it. Tell us how you're overcoming it, or tell us how you are not overcoming it. And our psychologist, Dedan, will be able to tell you or advise you or suggest some things that you can do. And I'll give you a few suggestions on how to cope. And so meanwhile, we can continue listening to songs, and then we will go from there. Please feel free to comment with your questions, comment with your suggestions, comment with your advice, comment with your story, whichever you would like. All right. Okay, let's see.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me five golden rings, four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 weeks a laying, five golden rings, four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a singing, 6 geese a laying, five golden rings, four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, five golden rings, four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
All right. That is 12 days of Christmas. 12 days of Christmas. Okay, I want to give a shout out to all of you who are here with me. Kairetu Kamushemi again. Can you welcome and feel free at home? Anthony again, Larry again, Michael Thiga, Themba Ondiege again, Kairetu Kamushemi, Misha Kondari, Freddie Mobi, and Gitao. Themba Ondiege is saying I would have loved to be a part of the discussion today, but technical difficulties, it's okay. But he's going to be online, and he is online. If you have a question, I see already Miss Ngima is asking, what is the meaning of grieving? She doesn't know. Dedan, I'm sorry. Themba Ondiege, would you please answer Miss Alice Ngima that question through commenting? Okay, that would be great if you did. All right, Amos Mungai, Elizabeth Shohei, Ramba Githaiga, Meshak Muredi, welcome. And on the other side, I have Wainaina Waidera, I have Ngima Alice. On the other side of the program, David, I have David Karaoke, is from Roiro and he is tuned. I have who? Let's see. Hey, David Karaoke singing. I don't know. Esther Kimondo. All right, she's asking about the holiday. I think they will call you. I don't know. Amisha Kumuridi is tuned. Esther Kimondo is saying, thank you, Alice, for inviting. Thank you all who you are inviting. Thank you, Alice. You do a very great job. May God bless you. Holiday is coming up, Miss Ngema. I'm trying to read. Please write in English. I cannot translate. Write in English. This is the English version show. Okay. All right. Let's see. Hello. Dedan, Ngema Alice is saying hello. Merry Christmas to you. All right. I guess I cannot get to every comment, but Wamogoda Jane Franco, Lucy Iforo, Malkia Hadassa, you're being called, Meisha Blesso, Miriam Wihaki, Kadea Hiki. So, Miss Alice, you're being told that grief is a natural response to loss. Grief is a natural response to loss. And a lot of people grieve differently. And the reason that I thought of this subject at this time of the year is because whichever way that you have lost somebody, it could be through suicide, it could be through an accident, it could be through a death that was not expected. Some deaths we do expect, say for example, somebody was sick, you might be expecting that. But sudden deaths, traumas, natural calamities, those things that happen suddenly, if you have lost somebody through that or through suicide is also sudden. Or even if you're expecting it, people grieve differently. And as Dedan is saying, grief is a natural response to loss. And last week, he actually told us that loss can be anything, any loss. You could move, you can migrate from one place to another, especially like us, the diasporans, we have left our original homes. That, when it's very new, it can be a loss too. Specifically to the children, even the adults, before you come and get culturalized or accustomed to the new place that you have gone to, you have lost something. You leave your parents, you leave your siblings, you leave a lot of people, you leave your even businesses or your job, and so you lose something. So losses are many. And Themba is telling us mourning is outside expression of grieving. So when you're grieving, you mourn. And when you mourn, I can give an example. We know where we come from. I give an example with where we come from. There are different people who mourn differently. Like all together, they'll be mourning and crying and calling out loud. Others just cry silently. So there are different ways of grieving or even mourning. And so today, I want to talk about this lady. This lady is called Denise. Denise Denslow. She wrote an article for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, talking about how, or giving suggestions of other parents who have lost a child to suicide. And I will add that it's not just a child. It could be an adult. It could be a father. It could be a cousin. I lost a cousin. I've lost actually a few cousins to suicide. And so it doesn't have to be a child. It could be anyone. So this one today we're focusing on a child, everybody. If you have ever lost, and we said if you have a suggestion, you can add on to the 9 that I'll give you here. Please throw it in there. 9 suggestions. How many suggestions would you give us? Just a suggestion that you would like somebody else to benefit from, or know how they can deal with grief, and be part of their healing process, because it is a journey that it doesn't end in one day or 1 year or even ever. It is a thing that's always there, only that sometimes it dissipates. It calms down a little bit, but oftentimes, like times of these holiday times, that's why I was saying I thought of this subject. At times like this one, when we are celebrating, you remember when you're sitting at your dining table, this chair, somebody would be sitting here. My father, my mom, my son, my daughter, my cousin, because this is the time people gather, the family gather, and you remember your loved ones. And so even if it's been years, you tend to remember. When we started talking about the grieving process, I reminded you, and I remembered how I remembered my aunt. I even teared up, and it's been years. I was like, I had just finished class 8, grade school, and or elementary school, and it is still lingers fresh when I start thinking about it. So it doesn't end. And so Miss Denise says that. I will read a quote that she says here. I wish I could hug you and make the pain go away. And I wish the same too, but that would not ever happen. That can be a lie. I cannot tell you that talking to you here will make the pain go away. Hugging you will not make the pain go away. And if you're a parent who has lost a child to suicide, you know what I mean by saying that. And nobody can make your pain go away instantly. Absolutely not. But I want to tell you that one day you will wake up and realize the ache you feel is completely gone, but that wouldn't be honest of me. That wouldn't be honest if I told you that one day the pain will go away. It will not. But someone who lost their teenage son, someone who lost a father or a mother a year ago, 3 years ago, the ache is still there. The ache does not go away. It is always there in some way. It might not be as fresh, but it's always there. In the beginning, you feel like you're drowning. When it happens, you don't even believe it. And last week, we were taught how it comes about, even the denial, and we were told it's even sometimes a good thing, but you feel like you're drowning in your emotions. You cannot even believe it. You don't even know why it happened. And as time passes by, the waves of grief will go diminishing as time goes by, and then even smaller and smaller, but it never goes away. It is still there. And some people feel like it is okay for that pain to be there because it reminds you. You don't want to forget. You don't want to forget your loved one. Denise says, I will forever grieve my son and the life he was supposed to have, along with the life I was supposed to have with him. But the days I feel completely engulfed by pain, they are fewer than before. That's what I just said. She feels the pains now, they're not as strong as they were in the beginning. But she'll always grieve her son. She'll always mourn her son. She'll always remember her son and that life he was supposed to have, and the son and the life they were supposed to have together. And I know that happens to probably a lot of people who are listening to me who have gone through this. It is something that is always there. Little things remind you of that. All right. Let me, the suggestion she's giving, she has 9 suggestions. 9 suggestions she's giving of how you can cope with this. And I'll read some a few comments here. So Themba Ondiege is telling us, that the psychologist, that there is different types of grief. There's normal grief, there's delayed grief, and there is complicated grief. Would you elaborate on that as I continue to talk about the 9 suggestions, and I'll read them as we go on. And thank you so much for being online, Psychologist Themba Ondiege. I really do appreciate it. Koiwa Kemura, thank you so much for joining us. I would request you to stay right there, share, and tag your friends. Let's see. Oh, Isaac Itonga, thank you for coming in, and stay right there. So I'll continue to read these 9 suggestions, but I'm gonna take a little break and play this song. Hark the Herald Angels. Thank you so much. That is Hark the Herald Angel Sing. And so the comment on the screen is from Themba Ondiege, our psychologist, saying that there are different types of grieving. And as you guys know, today we're talking about grieving for the adults. Last week we talked about grieving for the children. And so 3 types, there are different types. And he put 3 of them here: the delayed grief, normal grief, delayed grief, and complicated grief. And he was gonna elaborate a little bit about that. Koiwa Kimura is saying, so interesting and educative. Thank you so much. Ngema Alice is listening. And all of you, keep watching, keep commenting. We were saying, if you have a way or a suggestion that you can give somebody who is going through this, tell us through commenting on the box below, so that they will be helped and know how to cope with this ordeal. And so we were talking about Denise, who has written an article on the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and she's talking about 9 suggestions that can help grieving adults, not just adults, and it is adults to children, adults who have lost children, but for this purpose will do everyone who has lost somebody, in whichever way, but mostly by suicide or sudden death, because suicide is sudden. And so one of the suggestions Ms. Denise Denslow is talking about is be kind to yourself. That is one of the suggestions she is saying. Be kind to yourself. And I'll elaborate on that. Number 2 is be patient. You can write them down. And number 2 is be patient. Number 3 is join a support group. Number 4 is seek one-on-one counseling. Number 5 is set boundaries. And number 6 is understand your personal grief is different from anyone else's. And number 7 is be kind to yourself and be patient. Be kind to yourself and be patient. Number 1 was be kind to yourself. This one is be kind to yourself and be patient. And number 8, understand that what happened is not your fault. Absolutely, it is not your fault, whatever happened, for that loss to occur. Specifically death loss. And then the last one is not the least, let people help you. Be open and let people help you. Those are 9 suggestions that Denslow is giving every one of us who might be going through this turmoil. Duncan Committee, thank you so much for coming in, and you're saying very keen and educative. Yes, we feel like it is very important for us to go through these difficult subjects to talk about. They're difficult moments for the people who go through them. And if you have not gone through it, you cannot understand. Absolutely. And the pain, we said, never goes away. You always remember this person in the slightest thing. And we were saying, if you have a suggestion, that just throw it there. How did you cope? How did you cope with your loss? What did you do? How can you help somebody who is going through the same thing? And as Denslow is writing, she lost her son through suicide, and she's saying the pain never goes away. She always remembers. But the good thing is that it might not be as it was before, but it goes and minimizes the pain, kind of diminishes. And so that's why she's giving us the 9 suggestions of what we can do. And Themba Ondiege, our psychologist, is continuing to write comments, and I'll post them and I'll read them. But let me explain this one point. Number 1, that Denise is telling us, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Why is she saying this? You have suffered so much. And you might find that you're not kind to yourself. Possibly you have suffered the worst loss a person can experience. And for sure, what is worse than death? You know, I don't even think the worst person, you have to be inhuman not to feel if death occurs, whether it affects you personally or indirectly or however. You have to be really, really inhuman not to be affected by death. And so be kind to yourself regardless. Be kind to yourself. It will be incredibly difficult. Losing somebody through death is difficult, but be kind to yourself nonetheless. You will feel many things. Remember that. You will feel many things, and it is normal. You may also feel like you are going crazy, but you're not. But it is okay. It is okay. I say, and there's a place I said the other day, when you're going through something, cry if you need to cry. Throw things if you need to throw things. Walk away from that situation if you need to walk away from that situation. Take it, accept it. Accept it. Do what you need to do at that moment of acceptance to be able to deal with it. And as we were told by our psychologist last week, you might deny, but when acceptance period comes, accept it. Take it, because when you take it, you'll be able to deal with it. And so through loss, through sudden loss, take it, be kind to yourself, feel everything, feel the craziness, feel the drowning, feel the badness you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to experience that experience. It's going to help you heal. And then number 2, be patient. The healing process will take time. Mine might take 1 year, or less than 1 year. Another person will take years. Another person will take a week or 2. It depends even also on how, and we were told last week, on your relationship with that person. So be patient. The healing takes time. Don't blame yourself if you find yourself all the time you're remembering this person or you're crying all the time. I lost my cousin when I was younger, and I feel so bad every time I remember this, now that I know some signs and symptoms of somebody who is about to commit suicide, and specifically in relation to mental health, because there's difference between people who commit suicide by other things and through, or the causes actually might be different. Let me rephrase that. The causes are different, and they are not always mental. And so I was saying, when I remember my cousin, I feel bad because I saw the signs, but I didn't know what they meant. I never knew what they meant. And my aunt, the reason I remember my cousin is because my aunt, every time she went to a funeral, she would cry. And she usually would say she was crying because of her son. Every time she went, she would remember her son and she would cry. So be kind to yourself. It is normal. It is normal to go through those things and feel like that. All right? It takes time. It takes time to heal, and everybody takes time to heal in their own way. And even getting to that better place, because the healing is not like it's gonna be final, but a place where now you know this happened, he's not coming back, you know, the dealing with it, the coping with it. And we'll take a little break so I can go to the other numbers and read Dedan Ondiege's points here. And he's saying, the first point here, he's saying that in relation to suicide, the guilty feelings around it may cause the complications. Yes, complications of dealing with it. I hope that's what you're trying to tell us. Complications of overcoming the grief or coping with the grief. Let's call it coping, because I feel like coping is a better word, because it is something that does not end. And if you have gone through this thing, tell us. And I have gone through it, but maybe in another extent. But if it is very, very personal to grieving and coping, I think coping is a little bit a better choice of word, maybe because of lack of a better one. Thinking about what one might have done different. That is okay. All right. I guess in relation to suicide, the guilty feelings around it may cause the complications. You're talking about the different types of grief, and you said the complicated grief, right? Themba Ondiege, you said, so I guess the complication, depending on what caused the loss, that might cause the complicated grief, right? And then you have another comment here. You're saying, thinking about what one might have done different, because you're guilty. Maybe you feel guilty. You might have done that. That's what I just said. That when I think about my cousin, I feel like I should have done different. Despite the fact that I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I wasn't even in the healthcare at that time, so I knew nothing about mental health or those signs and symptoms of suicide. Okay, Lucy, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Duncan Kamete is saying very keen, very educative. Yes, so we are continuing talking about grieving, and I'll take just a slight break here, and then I'll come right back.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding. Now bring us some figgy pudding and bring it out here. The tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We all like figgy pudding. We all like figgy pudding. We all like figgy pudding. So bring it out here. The tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here. The tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, welcome back everybody, my listener, my viewer. My name is again Grace Ngere with MyStory show, and today we've been talking about grieving adults. Last week we did talk about grieving with children, and Themba Ondiege on the screen, his comment on the screen, we talked about grieving in children in grieving. And so there's a comment that I want to read here. You've been talking about grief, telling us what is grief, and I was talking about suggestions that can help people cope with grief. And I see a great question here by Duncan Kamete that I would like psychologist Themba Ondiege please to address that question. It's very close to home to me too. And so thank you so much, Duncan Kamete, for opening up and talking about that. And I'll read that comment here pretty soon. Themba Ondiege is saying determinants of grief. And if you just joined us, our psychologist has been talking about grief. And he said grief is a type of, has three types, normal grief, delayed grief, and complicated grief. And Alice wanted to know what is grief. What is grief? And And we were told that mourning is outside expression of grief by our psychologist Ondiege. And so as he tries to elaborate on this, he says determinants of grief, things that determine how we grieve, how we mourn our loved ones, how we outsidely mourn our loved ones. One of them is culture. Some cultures have elaborate ways of expressing grief, male or female, maybe depending who is the male or the female. Maybe they grieve differently if it's a male. Maybe they grieve differently if it's a female, and approve that the psychologist Ondiege, if that is what you mean. But I do know that I know of a tribe in our country that that grieves differently from my tribe. And so that is the cultural differences. So the way some of us grieve is depending on our culture. Also beliefs. Some beliefs have different views of grief. And so I would think also maybe religion falls in this category. Belief, Christianity or none thereof determines how you will grieve. And number 3, attachment, what the dead meant to you. And I remember you talking about this last week. What did this person mean to you? How was the connection between you guys, between this you and that person? That will determine how you will grieve. And then number 4, you say mode of death. Did this person die through accident? Did they die through illness or suicide? That also determines how. And number 5, pre-existing circumstances, like other losses, economic status, or environmental issues. That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, our psychologist, Demba Ondiege. Now, I don't know if you have already written an answer to this question. Thank you again, Kamete. Kamete, you have opened up and you have said, I have been unable to overcome the loss of my brother. Do we have a timeline of grieving? And when can we tell it's becoming destructive to our lives? Psychologist Demba Ondiege, that question is for you. It's very much close to home too for me. And I appreciate that Kamti, you're able to open up. And as always, you know, I'm your bigger sister. We are always together in this. So is it destructive how long you take to mourn? Psychologist Demba Ondiege, can you answer Duncan Committee? He has been unable to overcome the loss of his brother. It's been a year now and about a half or so. And is it destructive? Is it destructive? And I'll read some of the comments here as you write that answer for Duncan Committee. Gima Alice is saying, some grieving are different according to tribes how they mourn. Exactly. That is what our psychologist just told us. And you're saying also that you do understand what is grieving, and you're very, very welcome. That is why we are here to talk about this. For those people who didn't know or understand what these things are, and specifically to help them cope with it so that it doesn't become destructive. And before even I touch on that, I wait for our psychologist to answer that question appropriately for us. He's the professional in that area. And so as we wait for the answer, I'm looking for another comment. Koi Wakemura is saying that it is very interesting and educative. And thank you. Thank you, Koi Wakemura. I hope that you can share with somebody who you know might be going through this. All right. And so as we wait for the answer to this question, I'll now put back the question so that you can see it, Psychologist Dedan. It's from committee. So, and I'll continue with the 9 suggestions. I was in number 3, right? Yes, number 3. Number 3, what time? How much more time do we have? Oh, it's almost an hour. Wow, yeah. It's a very in-depth subject. Number 3, it says join a support group. I'll go very quickly so that we can be able to answer that question in time. Join a support group. If you're going through these things, you can join a support group. group. If you can't join an in-person group, find a supportive one online. There's groups online. And if you want, I can help you look for them. Losing anyone, a child, a brother, a sister, a mother, anybody, it is special. It is special. And more so for a child. You know, we have this thing that we always feel, and I feel the same, and I think the same. No man, no parent should bury their child. And nobody anyway should bury anybody. It feels like that, but it is with us. It is inevitable death. So losing anyone is special. It is special grief. And those who have not lost, they cannot understand. And they will try. You know, people will try to understand, but they will be unable to. If the group you join does not feel right for you, you give it a chance for 3 weeks. Give it a chance. Then you can leave and look for another one. But the main point here is join a support group. Join a support group. Number 4, seek one-on-one counseling. Seek one-on-one counseling. When you have somebody to talk to about anything, especially death, it can be a huge comfort. It can be a huge comfort. We talk about how if you feel like you want to commit suicide, talking to somebody, how helpful it is. It is the same way if you have lost somebody. It is of great comfort. Many counselors will listen and they will not judge you. If you need help looking for a psychologist, just let me know. I can look. This technology at this day and time of life that we live is tremendous. You can find anything. You can find anything online. So many counselors will listen. They will not judge you. And they'll help you with the peaks and valleys of your grief. Because as we said in the beginning, there's peaks and there's peaks and there's valleys. And at this time of Christmas, holiday time, going to a new year, it brings back all those memories. So it can be a peak right now when those emotions are sky high, thinking about this person, feeling bad and, going through all these drowning phases and feeling bad. And so it is good to talk to somebody and they'll help you and give you comfort at this time. You may need to visit a few different counselors because maybe you go to one and you feel he's not helping or it is okay to look for somebody else, even a family member or a loved one that you feel you're comfortable talking to. Number 5, set boundaries. People may say a lot of stupid things in response to a suicide loss. Right? Last time we said some people even identify people with people who have lost suicide. Oh, that family, right? That family, that's what they do. They, as if suicide, and our psychologists might tell us is genetic. I think we did talk about this one time. But it is not okay to point fingers at people and start identifying them with that kind of loss. Whichever loss they lost their person with. It is not fair. It is not humane. It is not even humane. So set boundaries. So Denise is saying some people, how they respond to death is sometimes important to you, and you as a person who has somebody who has lost somebody, it is to you to set boundaries, what to take and what not to take. Some people may tell you God will not give you any more than you can handle. I know, I don't know if I have ever said that, but especially Christians, we might find ourselves in those shoes, and we're just trying to comfort this person. And most of the time, we don't know what to say in such, death is so unexplainable because you don't even know what to say to somebody. You don't know how to console this person. And so you might find yourself saying, God will not give you any more that you cannot handle. Somebody who has lost somebody, they don't want to hear that. Because it's like you're blaming them, I know the story of Job tells us about how he lost his people and how God allowed all these. But surely, I don't think it is appropriate to go telling somebody this. But you, as a person who might receive such a comment or response, it is up to you to not let it get into you. That's what I can say. And then another one, we usually say everything happens for a reason. I am guilty of that one. Another one may be just get over it. Just get over it. So you can tell them they mean to be helpful, but that but what they are saying is not helpful to you. If you're bold enough, yeah, tell them what you're telling me is not helping me right now. And I know you're trying to be helpful. So you can set boundaries. It is okay. And our culture sometimes doesn't allow being that bold, but this culture that we are in here in diaspora, that's like just normal. If something is not resonating with you, is not okay with you, you tell them right away. I don't appreciate the way you talk to me. I don't appreciate that. Yeah. Number 6, understand your personal grief is different from anyone else's. What someone else is going through or has gone through may not be what you are experiencing, and that is okay. Some things may be helpful for one person, but not for you. That is absolutely normal. Do what is right for you. Number 7, be kind to yourself and be patient. Get enough rest. Make sure you are eating. And even though this sounds counterintuitive, because you may not have any appetite and you may not be able to sleep, but taking care of yourself is really very important with grief. Number 8, understand what that means, or understand that what happened is not your fault. Absolutely, it is not your fault. And you may blame yourself, or even as a psychologist is saying, feel like you might have done something differently. No, it is not your fault. You may blame yourself and wonder what you could have done differently. And Denise is saying she still does that even to this day. And for a long time, she constantly played the night of her son's death in her head over and over. How many of you do this? Playing the scene over and over and over and thinking what you should have done differently. These thoughts can cause you more pain, and they do not change a thing. And probably you're going through the same thing, and you're probably going through the same thing, but you're not to blame. You're not to blame. So remind yourself that all the time. And number 9, the last one, don't push people away. If you're married, be there for each other. If you isolate at times because of great pain or sadness, it can make your grief worse. It can make your grief worse, even to a point of wanting to commit even suicide. So don't push people away. Don't push people away. And sometimes your partner, your friend, your family, they might be wanting to help you, but you don't want them close to you because of what you're going through. But you can try to help yourself. So don't pull people out. Don't push people away. So even though sometimes you might need alone time, I think it is very important to have somebody around you, somebody that you would trust. And somebody who will be of comfort. Never forget that there are people who love you and they truly want to help you, like sincerely from the bottom of their hearts. They truly want to help you. So those are 9 suggestions that we are being given here. Don't let people help you. Understand that you are not to blame. Be kind and be patient to yourself. Understand your personal grief. And set boundaries. Also seek one-on-one counseling. Join a support group. Be patient because the process takes time, and be kind to yourself again. So be kind and be patient has been repeated 3 times. So it is very important to take care of yourself. Self-care. All the time we talk about self-care. Those are the 9 suggestions that I had for you today. And I'll see if we already have an answer from our psychologist. And so here is the answer as we come to the end of our program today. So to Duncan, there's no specific timeline. There's no specific timeline. But as I said, it can be complicated grief when it's not worked on. Engaging in the task of mourning is important. I would suggest you see a qualified professional to assist you through the process of mourning. I hope you heard that, Duncan, and I hope you make a decision. You make a decision what you would like to do. And as always, I'm always here for you. You know that. You know that. And so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everybody has been so interactive today. I hope everybody has, we have all been helped in one way or another. And God is good. Gladys, thank you for joining us. And you say you're watching. You're watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to just give a little shout out to people who joined us at the end of this. Omar Jihad, thank you so much. Teresa Kasiva, thank you so much. And there might be others that I'm not able to see because this program, for some reason, it's kind of not showing everybody's comments or even their comments or even showing them. So if I did not give a shout out to you, it's because I cannot see you. And Duncan, you say you got it. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. And as always, we are together. Kamti, we are together. Okay, so guys, that is it for today. It was an intense subject. Intense subject. In a special way. In a very, very special way. We thank you. Psychologist Dedan Ondiege. You've been so helpful. And next time, I think we need to buy a what do we call it? Headphones like this one and ship them. We appreciate you. We appreciate your knowledge. It's been helpful. It's been helpful. And we'll be back on Friday, and we'll figure out what subject we'll bring. Okay. And again, we'll have Themba Ondiege on our English version show next Friday. And may God bless each and every one of you. May God bless each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And it's always great that you support MyStory show. And we look forward to a new year and a Merry Christmas. And again, I'll ask you, if you are in crisis, if, you know, at this time of Thanksgiving, we just finished Thanksgiving the other day, or going to New Year or Christmas, it's bringing a lot of memories, and you feel like you do want to commit suicide, reach out my inbox. We have Themba Ondiege, our psychologist, and I know he's ready to help you. So reach out to us, and we will do more than we can to help you. Alice Ngima is saying about her question. Where is your question, Alice Ngima? Oh, you're asking about when somebody dies, if their body moves out of their, huh? I don't know. Phrase your question again. I cannot understand the question, Alice. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Reach out to that number on the screen. If you are in crisis, call National Suicide Prevention Line 1-800-273-8255. Text 74174 if you're in America. If you are in another continent, I will post a international website where you can reach somebody 24/7. And always my inbox is always open. My phone number is always open. And we'll be able to help you. Whether you're grieving, whether you want help with psychologists, counselors, we'll do what we can. We don't offer it ourselves, but we can look and refer you to places that help people with those things. And so that will be all for today. I thank you so much, and may God bless you, bless you, bless you, and a Merry Christmas and a happy, very, very happy New Yeah, let's finish with Joy to the World.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. No more that sins and sorrows grow, no thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found, for as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders